Welcome to episode 34 of the WireTap podcast with Alex.
And Carlos. What's up, Alex? What's up
Not
to the
much, man.
listeners? What's up to the haters? What's up with the ones that are just clicking in because they want to be nosy? How about the ones that are actually here for some good content, Alex? Want
Yeah,
to
we
welcome them, don't
appreciate
we?
them. Yeah, we want to welcome them. And
Oh,
also,
man.
if you guys have been listening to our show, don't be shy, man. Hit that subscribe, whatever platform,
Hit that bell.
Just a reminder, we are on YouTube, iTunes,
Oh, man.
Spotify, iHeart,
Google.
RSS feed, Google, like anywhere. And you know what's
Anywhere,
funny?
Stitcher, anywhere there's podcasts, we're there. Isn't that awesome?
And the thing is also, I don't know, is like, not that we worry, honestly, we don't worry too much about the behind the scenes of what's going on. We just kind of, this is what we do, and eventually, people like our show, they'll end up following us. But if you
Yeah.
enjoy it, just go ahead and just do it.
Hit that button. Do it. Don't
Exactly.
be shy. Don't be shy.
No, but anyways, we do appreciate it. Even though if you're not a follower, we appreciate you listening to the show.
Be a leader.
Go ahead and go ahead and just put a comment on there, and then
Drop
if you
it.
guys got a topic you guys are interested in, also just let us know. We'll
Bust it.
explore.
That's right. That's right.
We'll explore the topic. We'll do some research and make sure we got all our facts, and we'll talk about it.
That's right. We'll present it. We've done that before. But listen, speaking of topics, Alex, have you did you get my my share drive where I sent you that there was 5 places in the United States that would actually pay you cash money for you to live there? Have you seen that? Did you
Yes,
see
I
that?
have.
Speaking of content, speaking of good content, those of you that are looking to start over, those of you that are looking for, you know what, I want something different. I want to get out of where I live. I want to change my surroundings. I want to do new things, big things, different things. Hey, I got some cash for you if you do move there. Have you seen some of those 5 locations?
and the
they're
thing with
actually
that
not
is,
bad, bro.
and also, because of COVID, for what it brought some bad things, and of course it also brought some good things. I think if you look at it in a positive light, we're having companies accepting a lot of remote working remotely. Like
Positions, yeah.
my company is even one of them, and I know there's plenty of companies out there that some companies are not requiring you no more to go to the office. You can 100% be remote.
Right.
And this is a huge opportunity for you if you want to relocate to a place where you can work remotely, and maybe has a different lifestyle where it's not so much that it costs so much, right? And this is a huge
The
opportunity
cost
for
of
you
living
to
is much more affordable than where you may be living.
correct. So a lot of people from California are relocating, and they're looking for one of these states that has these kind of programs. Now, these programs do come with some stipulations, and I guess we'll go through a couple of them, Carlos.
Oh, I love it, man. Like one of my favorites is Morgantown, West Virginia. Now, listen, if you like cold, West Virginia is your place. I'm not a fan of the cold. I prefer, something a little more Georgia-ish, right? But Morgantown, West Virginia is giving up to $12,000. Check this out. You get $12,000 cash, $10,000 for your first year, straight up, $2,000 for the year after. Then you also get 2 years of free outdoor gear rentals. Like you can, if you're trying to explore the area, you got 2 years of just free gear rentals to just go out and enjoy the life that's around you. And here's the other part. Here's what I really like is the free co-working space, like access to WeWork, access to just these common places. Well, they're not so common, and I guess you could say that, but they're co-working space. If you're starting a business, right? If you're like the fact that you want to work from home, but you want to go somewhere else just to change your environment, you've got access to that. You've got access to social events. Listen, bro, I'm telling you, I was very impressed. The other one I saw was Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been there.
But
yeah, man.
Before we even jump onto the next one, a couple things to point out is you want to make sure that you clear it first with your employer that you're able to work out of state, work at a different state, and you continue to doing what you're doing, right? Because if you end up moving and then you can't do what your old job used to be, then you got a problem there. So one thing as a tip is make sure you clear it with your employer. Second thing is make sure
don't get fired for that.
Yeah, correct. And another thing is you got to figure out what you want to commit to before moving, because obviously moving is a big commitment. And a lot of these places have like you have to be a year, or some of them have 2 years. So understanding what your interests are and what you're looking for, And then now we can go into the second place. Carlos, go ahead.
Dude, the second one was Tulsa, Oklahoma. I lived in Oklahoma for almost 4 years, and Tulsa. Tulsa's pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty chill. I enjoyed Tulsa. It's busy, but it's not Atlanta busy. If that makes sense. It's still got that home. It's like a Gwinnett, if I could really put it into those of you that are from Georgia and you're familiar with this area. If not, I don't know
So
what else to
a
compare it
mid-sized
to.
city, not
Yeah,
too
mid-size.
busy, but it is
Yeah,
a little busy. It's
yeah.
got nightlife and everything.
Right. They'll give you 10 grand on your first year. You have access to a co-working space. The third one I saw, but with Tulsa, you got to make a minimum of $10,000 a year, and you got to move within 6 months, right? And you got to make sure that you're not already living there, right? So keep that in mind, because they are trying to draw people from their own state, right, from Oklahoma themselves. But I did.
You're trying to grow the city, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this other place, I've been to this place, man. I think it is one of the most beautiful places in America. I'll be honest with you, man. This is Northwest Arkansas. So it is in Arkansas, of course, but it's Northwest. It's like considered Fayetteville. It's a beautiful hilly area. You get mountains, but you also get
mountains,
plains. I mean, it's just beautiful. Yeah, man, it's so nice. I really enjoy Northwest Arkansas, but you get a $10,000 cash incentive, right? But you got to be at least 24 years old there. Of course, your job has to approve it. But you got to live outside of Arkansas. You can't live
2 years of work experience,
right?
Full-time employment.
Yep, and you got to move in there between right within 6 months, right? Because it is a big decision, but you got to pull that trigger, right? So 10 grand right off the bat. You've already got 4 places. Now the last one, I've never been to the Shoals. I'm sure I've been near the Shoals of Alabama. They'll give you 10 grand. You got to make, of course, a minimum of 52,000. You got to move within 6 months. The eligibility is not that tight, if that makes sense, right? They're not that strict on it. But out of those 5 places, Alex, if you're looking now, keep in mind, if someone is paying you, 50 grand and you're like, I really want to increase my revenue for this year because I've got some goals I've got to knock out. Bro, you can generate an extra $10,000, right? As long as you know how to make that happen without incurring additional expenses, because the goal is that you, of course, maintain or, at the end of the day, I would say create some kind of cost savings, right? Because your cost of living should be going down if you're moving out of a metropolitan city, which is a must, I would say. You certainly save in so many ways. I can attest to that. But yeah, no, I would say out of those top 5 places, Alex, 10 grand, man, you can't beat that, bro. Like 10 grand right off the bat, just to come hang out with us. I'm all in, bro. But you any of those jump out at you, man?
I mean, no, there's a couple places that if you are looking for that and want to take advantages, I mean, I definitely like the one that was it, the one with the mountain trails and stuff like that. What was that?
Oh, Northwest Arkansas. Yeah, Northwest.
Yeah,
Arkansas.
I mean that sticks out to me because I like the woodsies and nature and stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. Tulsa, Oklahoma doesn't seem that bad either. So me, I don't know if I would particularly do it myself, just because I mean moving is a hassle, dude. And then of course if you got family and you want to stay close, but if you're not about that, then I don't see a problem. I wouldn't mind moving to a different state and maximizing my own gains, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I think it's good for economic development. I think it's good. Honestly, man, it'll help grow your town, help grow your city. It just what it does, it creates more momentum, right? It generates tax opportunities for the county or for the city that you're living in. There's just so many advantages that they want to carry some of these advantages over to you. And if you like it, hey, you've got at least 2 years of funding in some places, right? 2 years of funding and you can come back. So let's break those down. Did we mention Topeka, Kansas? Did we mention that?
I think you skipped one, but I wasn't too sure.
Okay, so Topeka, Kansas, this one's a little more detailed, right? Up to $5,000 for renting the first year, or you can get $10,000 if you purchase a home. But Jimmy John's, check this out. Jimmy John's is willing to give you an extra $1,000 if you relocate to one of its delivery zones. Like straight up, they'll give you $1,000 straight up. So again, there's opportunities if you're looking to increase your revenue and you're looking to decrease your cost of living. This could be an opportunity. I don't think in the time that I have been around this life, I don't think I've ever seen something like this, Alex. How about you?
No, I mean, dude, I mean, not that I'm looking for that kind of stuff, but yeah, I haven't heard it at a high level where people are incentivizing by giving you cash to move. I have heard it where employees, when your employer is opening a new plan or something, wants you to relocate because they want you to run a particular department and they're willing to give you incentives with all moving expenses. That I've seen, that's very common. But where the city itself is trying to give you incentivizing people to buy money, that's kind of rare. So definitely take advantage if you're you're looking for a new place to go.
I don't think
that's
it's
a
a
good
bad idea.
opportunity.
Absolutely. And if I could pick out of these places, I would definitely go Northwest. I think I said that, but I would definitely do Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
cool.
we might even have some listeners from Northwest Arkansas listening. Yeah. So it's good. So anyway, man, I was really thrown off by this because I was like, man, these are people that are actually offering cash versus just tax write-off or other type of incentives that there's other cities, don't get me wrong, that will give you things that these guys are going straight to cash. So I think that would create some drama for sure. I think that'll create a buzz in certain people who are looking for something new adventures, new surroundings. People are looking to start over. Maybe you just got divorced. Maybe you're ended a relationship. Maybe
New
your company
beginnings,
is,
yeah, for sure.
maybe your company is relocating there and they're building something and they're offering an opportunity. Hey, here's an additional opportunity to increase your revenue. But speaking of drama, man, have you ever heard of this company called Goop, Alex? Do you know what Goop is?
Yeah, it's a company founded by Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, man. And you know this actress, right? You know who Gwyneth Paltrow is.
Oh yeah,
right?
I like her. She's a cool actress and very talented, smart.
Wow. That was a lot of characteristics, Alex. I feel like you really do know who she is.
I do. I follow her.
Smart.
I
She's
mean,
funny.
definitely
She's intelligent. She's
comes
got
in.
great jokes. She really makes me smile every time I see her smile. There's something about her eyes. Like that's how you sounded, bro. Like literally, that's how you sounded.
I mean,
You know, yeah.
what's
Was
not
not
to
to
like
like.
about?
I get it. I get
Exactly.
it. Well, what you're not gonna like. Here's what I will tell you, Alex.
I share
What
a
you're
different
not.
opinion, but go ahead.
Here's
Go
what
ahead.
you're not gonna like. You're not gonna like what's been going on over at Goop, which is a very interesting name for a healthcare wellness brand called Goop. Do you know? Have you caught some of this?
Go ahead and just spit it out because I have a different opinion about this. So just
it's okay. It's very controversial.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's very controversial. I mean, at the end of the day, she's not taking care of her people, bro.
Well, hold on. It's a
It is
different
what it is,
story.
and she's getting a lot of backfire on it.
They're getting backfire because of certain things that are happening, but it's not because go ahead, just give us some examples here before we go deep into it.
Well, you've got employees that are complaining, right? You've got employees.
Is it employees or is it people who are paying money? Because people were complaining about a particular class that they did,
bro.
The whole time,
bro, they lost their COO, their second in charge or second in command. She let her go. Straight let her go. Like this is your logistics and operations person that you let go of. Like this is your person that holds that company together. They are the glue because you don't have time to be the glue. You're Gwyneth Paltrow, right? You're trying to make other things happen to generate cash, right? To keep this company afloat. And with COVID, a lot of things took place. And that's what she's saying, right? She's blaming a little bit on COVID, but she's also, from what I'm getting from this, Alex, that she's a little bit of a tyrant, bro. Did you catch that? And the reason I wanted to bring this up, and you may be wondering, how is this connected to business, Carlos? Well, because no matter what leadership role you may have and wherever it is that you have a leadership role and wherever it is that you're working and contributing to a company, it matters how you take care of others, right? It really does matter because if you learn to take care of your employee, right, they'll learn to take care of your customer. But Alex, what are you pulling from some of this?
Well,
you're going into the testimonials, right?
No. The thing is like she's basically trying to say, hey, look, we we got an amazing team. Then I'm trying to bring, we're bringing a lot of incredible ideas from not just me. So she's trying to make the company not revolve around her, is
Of course,
kind of
of
be
course.
more organic. What I think is people people say, like, okay, for example, people were complaining because there was a weekend where they had a panel. She wasn't accessible to people. Like,
Yeah,
people wanted to have access to her, and of course she was a little bit off to the side where she wasn't
yeah,
accessible. It cost roughly around $8,000. They said they put a price tag that, that include like $1,600 for a hotel,
of
a
course.
gift bag that was worth over $3,000, and whatever. They had like people like uh, Penelope Cruz, and they had a bunch of stuff out there. So people were complaining about that it was a ripoff, that she was an extortionist, stuff like this. But here's the thing, dude. She's trying to help the female community here. And they need to give her a little break. And this is why. She's trying to give, like, they developed this product that's called DTF, right? Really creative. DTF, right? So she's trying to help you sisters out there, like, boost your libido. Every day is stressful with anxiety,
Your wop
hormonal
wop diddly.
changes, exhaustion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
trying to help you be happy. And why? She's trying to get these vitamins out there so you're happy. You can work it out with your partner and have a
Right.
little bit different life.
It's a
So
very
it's
interesting candle selection she sells, by the way.
yeah, the candle selection is like she was tired of the fragment, the all the scents that they were dedicated to women. This one says
I
that
don't
she's
know. I don't think I would
Dude,
buy that, but
listen.
anyway, okay.
No, I wouldn't buy it either. But here's the thing: is she's trying to help.
Marketing. Yeah.
She's trying to help our lady friends out there, and just boost them, be more open, accept who you are, be more sexually active, and do some other stuff. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Maybe their business practices. Who knows what's really going on, and that's maybe a little bit more to dig into.
But here's the
But
thing.
go
We
ahead.
live in such a cancel culture, Alex, right?
Mhm.
That it's not about, okay, you got to keep in mind, it's no longer about what the company sells, right? It used to be that it was all product driven. It was all about the product. It was exactly what the product did for me, right? But once this cancel culture makes about
Mhm.
its awakening, if we want to say that, in such a woke culture, if we want to put it that way, is that companies, right, are wanting to be morally correct. They want to do the right thing. They want to, jump into that woke capitalism that we talked about a couple of months
Mhm.
ago. And what happens is, if Goop is not, I guess you can say, careful, right? This affects their sales, right? This affects their opportunity. This affects the whole company. You may say, well, they're just some business practices. They've got to get better. But they've got a fantastic name of a candle, which probably smells delicious because the name of it, blah, 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 right? Okay, well, that's great, right? That's fantastic. That means you've got a product that can generate sales. But if you are known as a company that doesn't know how to take care of people, and someone stands up in this cancel culture that we live in and says, hey, I was harassed, I was laughed at, I was bullied, blah, 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 right? Then
Yeah.
those that are connected to this brand so deeply could say, you know what? I don't need to support something like this, right?
But check this out.
Yeah.
So one of their statements is, we operate from a place of curiosity and non-judgmental, and we start hard conversations, crack open taboos, and look for connections in Renaissance everywhere where we can find it. So obviously they know that it's like, we don't mind being the tip of the spear. In short, we go first so you don't have to. We're glad we're here. So they're already telling you, hey, we're going to push the boundaries. We want to be controversial. This is who we are. We're going to open up conversations and push people. Now, there's a difference of pushing the boundaries, asking questions, and treating your people in a non-respectful way. I think that's two different distinctions there. So it's okay. Like, for example, some people having a hard time. In Valentine's Day, the company released its first vibrator right for Valentine's Day. They said jokingly, we had to pass the time somehow during the coronavirus pandemic, is that we tested a lot of, we take our job serious and blah blah blah, right? So obviously they're doing stuff. I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing, and I'm not saying that that's something you should have or not have, but whatever, it floats your boat at that point. But this is a company that's telling you, it's a company that's telling you, dude, we're gonna push the boundaries, we're gonna not be okay, and you got to be okay
as
with
they
that.
should, as they should. But you also got to take care of people and make people feel like they belong, right? You also,
that's different,
just because you operate in non-traditional, right? Just because you operate in non-traditional manners and non-traditional ways does not give you a right to be a jerk, right? It does not give you a right to just be
who's saying that?
difficult to
Is
work
it
with.
employees? Because I didn't see that employees were saying that. I heard that it was people that were with the product, they had issues with some of the things that they were putting out. That's a different story versus employees and people saying that they're not being treated or they're treated unfairly.
The information I pulled, of course, talk about the unfair advantages of some of the situations that went on at Goop. There was even give me a second, Alex. There was even a suggestion that there was a financial trouble, and because there was financial trouble, these decisions to eliminate staff members, right? Staff members were let go of. Now, listen, that's in any company, right? If a company is going through a hardship, a company's got to make some hard decisions. But, right, it's how you do it. It's how the culture, it's how the company culture is going to react. And if, again, I go back to, if you're not taking care of your people, your customers will one day get a hold of that and say, you know what? I'm done with this company. I can't support this. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, let's go here. When you found out, right? When you found out there was a specific shoe company that had these sweatshops on the other side of the world and making people work for 70 cents a day, right? And you're paying $250 for those boosts that you thoroughly enjoy so much, Alex. Well, does that make you want to say, I can't do this, I can't buy these shoes? That's not okay. I can't support that.
Well, the idea is, I mean, how do you stop something? Do you just not, you stop buying like those Adidas that you mentioned?
Yeah,
or do you let the government, or do we put pressure, on their governments like, this is not okay, don't allow it? I mean, we all know what happened with Apple and their China factories.
But the government here is not going to stop that. That's not their labor laws. That's
what I'm saying is the government's responsibility from those countries to step in and say, this is not allowed, this is not okay.
No, our country, we've got bigger fish to fry as a nation, right? What we do as consumers, right, is we don't just stop
buying those Adidas.
Yeah, you just don't allow supply and demand to take place, right? There's no need to supply it if there's no demand, right? So at the end of the day, the way you send this message, right, is you say, we're not buying this, we're not okay with this, you need to fix this, and you need to pay people fairly, right? Which is the same thing. It's the same thing with Starbucks, right, bro? Hold on. Paying these coffee, right?
Dude, don't allow but if you want that to happen, don't allow it to come into the country, because as soon as you allow it to hit the shelves,
capitalism is alive and well. Capitalism is going to allow it to take place, right? How they got that Adidas and what they paid for it does not matter to our government.
So how do you stop it? You can't.
You just stop buying. You just stop buying and send a message, right? You stop buying and send a message, and you say,
the thing is, it's like, okay, so if I have a U.S. product that's going to cost me this amount of dollars, and there's people that are not that privileged, and the other one, it costs $10, you're going to be like, okay, well, I don't have a choice. I got to buy the $10. So in a way, you are supporting that, and maybe you shouldn't. I'm not here to debate everyone's out, our listeners or everyone's out there's morals. I mean, sometimes you're able to do what you can do, and that's it.
Well, then you don't buy it. Then you don't buy it. That's what I'm saying.
If you're able to have the opportunity, you don't buy it.
And to circle back to Goop, it's the same thing, right? If you want to send a message to someone like a CEO, Gwyneth Paltrow, and say, hey, you got to start doing a better job of taking care of these people, right? then you got to do it. I mean, listen, I believe I read something crazy. I believe it was like women who were pregnant didn't get time off. Like, bro, you got to allow maternity leave. This is a this is a women's company.
Even oh yeah, that's not even like in in California, they allow for men to have maternity leave. Like you can have up to like 4, 6, 5 weeks.
Absolutely.
There's countries out there that give you 3 months, and some of them even pay you 6 months to stay at home, both parents. There's countries out there that are doing that. And yeah, definitely if this is like if she's not allowing women to have maternity leave and everything, is like this is it's a woman's company. They should be more supportive of women and just in everyone in general. I don't think you should make distinctions, because now we go into a man and a woman, and if we're all trying to have equal rights, I think she should be equal.
I'm looking
to all
for that.
Employees.
I'm looking for that article that I found a couple of days ago. So don't quote me on it until I find it, because then, I got to quote the source, right? But I will say, bro, that at the end of the day, you got to take care of your people. And if you take care of your people, they'll take care of your customers. And if your customers learn that you're taking care of your people, they want to support a good company, man. They want to support a company that makes a difference. They want to support companies that are doing good things. They want to support companies
like
that
Honest.
have a strong moral compass. Yeah, like Honest, like Jessica Alba, right? Same kind of situation, right? There's probably some things that are taking place internally that are probably not on the up and up, I would say, as to how subjective it is. But these operations are out in the public, and it's like people are saying, look, this is the reason she's doing this is because her sales are going down, so she can really care less about us, right? She made the decision based on money versus other things.
And yeah, and that's wrong if she's doing that. But I don't know enough about everything that goes behind closed doors in the company, and obviously we don't know. But if a lot of things start coming out, then maybe it's not a company you want to support. I mean, I like her as an actress. I think she's great, and she does her thing. But another thing is being a great actress and then and not knowing how to run a business. It's two different things.
Right. Just because you have a business, it does not mean you know how to run a business. I'll say that again. Just because you have a business, it does not mean you know how to run a business, because you can run a business right into the ground. Let's just be honest. 100%. And it is absolutely. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, man.
So talking about developing, how can you improve yourself? And we talked a little bit before about moving and developing and creating,
growing as an individual.
Growing as an individual. We wanted to bring 10 tips here of how to publicly speak a little bit better, or tips that you do when you're in a meeting or a conference, or when you have to present some. We've been in those meetings where you have to present a demonstration, or you have to present a
presentation in general.
Or
you got a deck ready to go.
Yep. Or you're trying to train a group of people. And I don't know about you, Carlos, but even though I've done it countless of times, you still get a little nervous. I don't know about you. I mean, there's always have that little, I'm not saying extremely like you're nervous, but you get those little small jitters sometimes, like, oh, like, okay, here we go. And it's until you kind of like start, then you kind of settle into the what you're doing. But it's always that beginning, like, okay, like here I go. It could be nervous for a lot of people. I know sometimes it's a little nervous for me. So one of the tips that we have about that is, you got to practice and be prepared. You got to know what you're talking about, the talking points.
You got to know your content. Yeah, man. You got to know.
Yeah, and the thing is you got to feel like you know what you're talking about, because when your heart starts pounding and you start getting those nervous hands, it's not a good look, because everybody will see you and this is like, okay,
start sweating.
Yeah, there's like maybe this guy didn't prepare himself.
Use your thumb, like when you play soccer, you put your little thumbs up. Do you do that when you're talking? Do you use your little thumbs?
No, because I'll probably move my hands in the air trying to explain something. I'll probably move them back and forth. I mean, I'll probably do it here in the podcast. Absolutely. When I'm talking, I'm going, yeah. But it's the same thing. Those are not nervous traits. I think it's more like if you're going like this or shaking or kind of,
which is okay. It's okay to be nervous, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's okay to be nervous. You just can't show it that much, and you got to be prepared of what you what you're
got to practice,
subjects.
practice, right? You got to practice. You got to know what you're about to say. You got to know your content. Alex, you said something really important earlier that a lot of people tend to forget is you got to know your audience, right? You got to know that it's about them, not about you, right? You have brought something of value and you are about to deliver and change their day and change those next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time you've got left, right? Because what you're going to do is pour into them, right? Because obviously they're listening and learning from you because you have something of importance or of value to bring to the table. And you got to organize your thoughts, right? You got to, that's number 3. You got to organize your thoughts. You got to organize your material. So that way, when you do show it or you do explain it, they realize, man, there was a really deep purpose here, right? I really learned something from this. So you got to know your audience. Yeah, man.
Yep. No. Know your audience. Yep.
And I would say, material. What I love is the feedback, right?
When and that's what I was gonna go.
Oh man, yeah. Go for it.
No. But as far as the feedback, and this is kind of critical and is very important. The feedback is very important of how you're meeting. Let's just pretend that we're training something, or you're going through a presentation, and you don't have to finish your presentation completely. If you start going through your presentation or the training, and you notice that you're going through your talking points, again, by the previous point, it was organizing your material in an effective manner, right? If you're going through them and you notice that you're losing the room, that's the feedback that you're getting. You got to know how to switch it up, and you got to bring your customer or your patient or whatever, or the people, your client, you got to bring them back in and suck them back into the material. So that's where you start asking questions. It was like, hey, what sticks out to you? What do you care about the most? Can you elaborate? What did you find effective? Is there something that you particular, is there a point that I need to go back to that maybe I brushed off and I was too quick on it? So you try to get their engagement back and their feedback so you know how to take it. And sometimes, dude, those are the best things that you can do when you're doing a presentation or a training, because you can really give your client or your customer back what they need and not just what you think they need.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's when you get into that, Alex. I love when I'm speaking in front of a crowd and I get these those of you that can't see me, I get the affirmation look, like, yeah, like the head nod, right? The raising of the eyebrows, like if you're wanting to bring surprise, like that kind of physical feedback for me, man, is huge, because what that does for me, I don't know if it does it for you, Alex, is I feel more comfortable, and the nervousness, if I'm still nervous, right? Because I usually try to get that out of the way the first 3 minutes. I usually crack a joke. I say something that puts everyone at ease. There is something that I will do that says to the group, hey, we're here together in this, because it's a reminder to me that, hey, we're here together in this, right?
So it could be even like, like, hey guys, whoa, this is a big crowd, huh? I hope I don't get too nervous and butcher this up, but here we go.
And then I don't know what to do with my hands. You guys know what I should do with my hands right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can little things like that. People don't care. They'll be like, oh, okay, and they'll be like, don't worry about it, just do your thing, and then they'll kind of make you. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, loosen the room up. Because that's what's going to be even more genuine, right? People are going to be more intrigued with you, especially if what you're saying is of true value to them, right? So that's where the other one comes into play, right? Where number 5 comes in and says, hey, let your personality come through. If you're writing this down, let your personality come through. Don't turn into somebody. I cannot stand. I know people, Alex, that when they get on stage, they become so eloquent with the words and the speech that I begin to use, that I become a totally and new ambiguous individual. Like they begin to speak that you're like, what? Who? What?
Who is that person?
Like, who is that? If you are not genuine, people are going to see right through that. So don't turn into anybody else. Don't be anyone else. Be yourself, right? Be who, like when you speak and you present that, people go, oh man, that's all him, right? Versus, who is that guy, right? Because it will stick out like a sore thumb, man. And the 6th one, of course, we just talked about it. Alex just mentioned
correct.
right? Use humor, tell stories, use effective language. It is what it is. People want to connect with you on this level. When you do any kind of presentation, and this is what I love about public speaking, you've got to remember you're not talking at them, right? You're talking to them. You talk at them, man, they're gonna tune you out in a heartbeat. And good luck if they remain in the room to listen to the rest of what you've got to say. You may have fantastic things, but because you're talking at them, they've tuned you out. They could sit there and pretend to be intrigued, right?
It's all about the connection. I mean, as human beings, we interact in connection. And if somebody's not connecting with you, we tend to tune them out.
Right.
We all do it. I do it. You do it. I mean, we all do it. So the thing is, you got to know how to connect with people and not just be talking like you're saying, just talking to them. You got to know it's a back and forth conversation. And sometimes the best thing is, instead of just reading, it's about having the talking points, having outlines. Is
right.
What you don't want to do is just read off a paper. Like, who does that, right?
Man, that's so annoying.
You have talking points
paper
and outlines. Yeah, I mean, you can have your paper, but and it could have just key notes, and you're gonna be touching. I'm gonna touch on this, and this, and this. But you cannot have a whole paragraph. It's fine if you need it, but you should be practicing on your speech and know that. Look, listen, it's not gonna go precisely how you have it on the paper. In a presentation, in a meeting, or whatever, it's gonna go completely off of it, and you got to be ready for that.
And it's okay if that happens.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
So basically,
the key. You got to
go
be okay
off an
with
outline.
That.
Yep.
Right. Here's we just mentioned this as well. Number 8 says use your voice and your hands effectively and omit nervous gestures. I knew a guy, Alex. I'll tell you a story. Story time. There's a guy who I knew who was a public speaker. He would speak publicly, but he had a nasal drip. You know what a nasal drip is?
Probably like when you drop something like it.
Like I don't think there was actual water or snot. Well, it could have been actual liquid. I could tell you that I thought this man, every time he spoke in public, had some kind of thing in his nose that he had to that he had to breathe in, or else this liquid was going to pour out his nose, and it was very obvious, and it would have been embarrassing. But every time he said maybe 4 or 5 words, it would be this. And that's what I want to encourage you. It was a constant thing. And at one point I thought to myself, this is a tick, right? He's using this tick to cope with his nervousness. So every so often, and it was all the time, just like that, just constantly doing that you would be more focused on, oh, here it comes. Oh, I got it. Or I didn't get it. Oh, there it is. Right.
Yeah, you would lose the message.
Exactly. Because now you've been completely interrupted by this nervous gesture that I think was actually something medically that was there, but it turned into a nervous gesture, man. I don't even know. I mean, I to this day, I'm like, man, I felt horrible for the guy. And I heard he recently passed away from COVID, dude. Tough thing for sure. Tough thing. But the number 9 says, grab the attention at the beginning and close with a dynamic end. I love it. Right. Anytime I public speak, I always start off with a story. No matter what, I start off with some kind of story. And then at the end, I leave you thinking, I want to hear more. Right. That's how you know you've got good content. You can leave people. Yeah, it's true. Right. That's the key, is that you leave people hanging that I want to come back and hear what he says next week. Right. I want to hear, see what he's got to present next time I get an email on this guy. Right. I want to hear his lecture. I want to hear what teaching series he's got next. I want to hear what he's got scheduled on his next Instagram live, or whatever you want, whatever the case may be. You want to use something to grab their attention that you can put people on the same level as you, and then close it off with a dynamic. And so last but not least, Alex, you talked about this one.
Yeah. Using audio visual aids. Yep. Like, I mean, it's sometimes too many breaks. And if you're having a presentation, for example, this is kind of what it's leading to, and you're going through your dialogues, you hit every single point, but then you bring in a lot of visuals and a lot of stuff that don't have nothing to do with the story. You can lose people because you're taking too many breaks to direct people to something else, and it's not clear. It's not. So you got to just make sure that you choose your audio, visual, or aids or whatever you're using in the manner that goes with your story, and
right.
and be able to clarify something. If not, what's the point? So that's what I would say, and that's one thing. All these 10 things are things that you can do to help you develop. Another thing I would say is maybe start practicing your speech. If you're doing a speech or if you're doing something, maybe try practicing in front
Practice in the mirror.
Practice in the mirror. Practice in front of a couple relatives. See how if you're coming across clear, if you're not, did it make sense for them? Did it not? Those things are right there. I think could help you.
I mean, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, Alex. Anytime you're looking to invest in yourself, you always got to be prepared when it comes to public speaking, right? Because someone who can public speak has confidence. Someone who has confidence has the ability to get the job done, right? If you have the ability to get the job done, then sky's the limit, right? That means they have the confidence to hit and go after every little single thing. So listen, I'm all about investing in yourself. And we've talked about this. We want to pour growth into you. Yeah, man.
Want to say one last thing before we finish on this particular topic. In practice does not make perfect on this particular aspect. Good communication is never perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. However, putting the, like we said, putting the requirement to prepare to try to be a better speaker by one thing that can help everybody is listen to people like YouTube, like Harvard people or some other people that are out there speaking at a little bit different, and expand your vocabulary. That's why reading always helps, and you learn new words because you want to be able to pick up new words. That way you can use them in your arsenal. So that's one thing. Obviously, practice does not make perfect when it comes to communication because we all have flaws. We all get nervous, but it's doing it in a repetition manner that'll help you become a better public speaker.
That's right. Put it in your repertoire for sure. Oh, was that the mic?
Yeah, it was a drop the mic.
Did you just drop it?
Dang, actually, I'll put a sound effect and just boom.
There it is. Boom. Well, listen. I know. I know you're all about it, like I am, Alex. When it comes to making sure people, when they walk away from my podcast, anytime they walk away from our podcast, is that they walk away enriched. And we hope, as always, that you walk away enriched, that you walk away hopefully intrigued. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully as you're working out or you're at the office or you're riding to work. I don't know, whatever the case may be, because sometimes I listen to our podcast while I'm doing something just to remind. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. It's incredibly helpful to always have something that you can put to good use. So we hope that you're able to put this podcast to good use. But here is the reason I mention all that is with our goals as a podcast to uplift you and to pour into you and to feed you as much as we can, you and your own goals, right? You set these goals for yourself. The end of the year is less than 3 months away. Let me just remind everyone of that, right? It's less than 3 months away. You've set some financial goals. You've set some personal goals. You've set some career-based goals for yourself, relationship goals, as we heard earlier, me and Alex. There's so much that you've put on yourself, but there is something about these goals that I need to say to you as we've got less than 90 days for the end of the year, right? If your personal fiscal year is based on January to December, and we talk about goals, this quote of the day is for you. It says, obstacles are what you see when you take your eye off the goal. I'll say it again.
One more time.
Obstacles are what you see when you take your eye off your goal. I'll say it 3 times, Alex. Obstacles are exactly what you are going to see when you take your eyes off of your goal. My name is Carlos.
This is Alex. Thanks for tuning in to the show, guys.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Woo!